Outcast, A New Beginning. Like the first game, it lets us travel to Adelpha, the planet with the two moons, the home of the talents. A gem which finally had come to life thanks to the tremendous effort of Appeal, the original studio behind the first installment. While there aren't only positive reviews out there, with some criticism I can go on par, I have to admit that the Yods were able to pull me back easily into the beautiful flora and let me rescue the talents several times, until becoming the true Ulukai. Well, one of the Ulukais. I wrote several guides, created several save games for completionists and plot stopper victims, and after lots of hours was ready to leave Kisar, cut a slate, Lihas and Camilla for good and uninstall the game. But wait. The inner dragon was wakened. The grindy completionist took over my hand and reinstalled Idaoka into the flourishing world called Adelpha. I traveled through Emir, Bida, Sapa and the other villages again and again. I started with the write-up done by Lanani from Discord, trained the movement, the temples, took notes where and when to upgrade, which item to collect first, which nanocells to invest at what time on the route, and I wrote lists, every single step. Scratched that and implemented this instead, improved and optimized any single bit, and wrote lists. I cursed Vernon, not calling me already, trained any individual base, and wrote papers, and put together some lists, and played hours of hours. To finally reach one final goal. Beating Outcast, A New Beginning in one single run. Thanks Lanani for the basis of this whole run, who did an amazing start of putting things together in the first place. The screenshots included here, that's the work by Spider-Man and Outcast FR from Discord. Obviously, thanks Planet Adelpha in general what he did for the Outcast community. The following is an edit of ideas, how I've tackled certain areas. Maybe it serves as a base or help for future runners. This is my brief breakdown of my speedrun.
Réfléchis, Slade, réfléchis. Quelle est la mission, soldat? Ok, pas de panique. Le saut dimensionnel n'est censé griller que la moitié du cerveau.
So, let's start. Right at the beginning, it's necessary to change the gaming settings. They can only be altered in-game, not in the menu. I start the timer with the first step into this world.
Je reconnais pas cet endroit, merde. Un peu d'air frais lancera peut-être mes synapses.
The moment I can use my keys again, I hit the run toggle. This has to be done again after every melee attack, jet boost, cutscenes or small tutorial snippets, otherwise Cutter uses a slower jogging cycle. Walking up steeper ledges or stairs slows down Cutter a bit, so me using the conveniently placed box. Here, I restarted the run pretty often as it needs an awkward angle to not jump into the clipping of the rail. The moment Cutter gets a jetpack, using run only makes no sense anymore. Dodging is the new forward. I figured if you only use the boost twice, the top left energy bar refills quicker than emptying it completely. It's possible though to use intermediate dodging while the battery refills. If you empty the bar when having more battery packs, the energy level becomes red and blocks until refilled.
Slade. J'ai un mauvais pressentiment concernant la Miller. Faut vite que je la trouve.
Basically, the idea in fights is don't fight and try to slide around. Save some time. Boosting up the stairs saves lots of seconds. Instead of going straight towards the base with the Yowoka core, I can use the time already to collect the Morax for Bida later on. For the first shipment I needed to collect 5 of them. As the Morloks always respawn with the same seed given at the beginning, I also know later on which ones to collect. Otherwise, I would stand stupidly around in the tutorial fog barrier while Lihas is talking.
Il a été volé par les envahisseurs.
Lanani wrote a great list of all plot-relevant ingredients. Idea is to collect everything in the first hour, to not care anymore about collectibles later in the game. As A New Beginning follows an open structure, I can basically finish quests before having started them. If you're quick, you can open the core with a small chest before the cutscene starts. The weapon equip will be toggled right away. Tutorials cannot be skipped. If tab is being pressed too soon, the cursor gets stuck in the teleport menu. I need to speak to Dak and Shamas first before I get teleported to Procreana automatically. There is another short dialogue with Lihas beforehand, so another pause which can be invested into Morlock harvesting.
J'allais t'appeler Ulukai. J'ai fait une découverte étrange. Mais vu que tu dois aller à Procreana, je vais activer une Daoka pour qu'on puisse parler en tête à tête.
D'accord. Je saute dans la première Daoka. À toutes.
You need to collect a minimum of 5 larvae for Rifar to get him started on extracting pheromones. Dropping the 5 larvae now gives me exactly the amount of Iridium I need for the jet boost upgrade. Talking with Rifar about the larvae makes him start the extraction faster.
Oui. Léaz, je suis à Procreana. Et toi, t'en es où?
En vol pour Sapa.
Collecting the core and opening the Daoka gives me another 100 Iridium for the gliding upgrade. Although I need to skip and reload the scenery now, having the glider saves just way too much time not to get it.
C'est un sujet délicat. Bon, je dois y aller.
Right after grabbing Oru's gun, I go to Procreana Shamas to grab a proper heal and kill some time until the pheromones are done.
Salut.
I could have teleported myself up to Nurka, but then I would have triggered the cutscene and the new reloading process, which would have taken too long. Most of the station rushes will be taken from my training runs, in which I analyzed the bases and completed them as fast as possible, which hasn't always worked in the full run, but wasn't a reason to begin from anew. So, after doing more collecting and getting the rifle, I'm grabbing the last 3 Moraks and go to Bida. I'm trying to avoid the blue auto pathing rails as they seem to be way slower than normal gliding. After the bomba cutscene, I quickly hit Tab T and click, which brings me faster to the village than running up the hill, as Bida is already pre-cached. Normally the mouse should already be on the Bida quick travel spot, as it is the closest to your destination.
Et je peux savoir pourquoi tu m'aides?
Pas le temps de t'expliquer pour l'instant. Je dois trouver les codes des autres bases.
If you shoot the drill slower third, it will teleport you straight to the fight area, saving some seconds. If done proper, dodging the stairs and then fly over needs less time than gliding over the water.
Ulukai, une gardienne d'Holotai a fait tout le chemin jusqu'à Emea, dans l'espoir de te parler.
Quoi?
Mais tu l'as manqué.
Vous êtes...
Comme je l'ai...
There are several ways to grab the Makati quicker than crouching. Dodging as quickly as possible and smashing U's a couple of times, or fly over them and drop down and then hit U several times.
Évaluation en cours. Spécial.
Waiting for Vernon's call to get me to Mazumsat and continuing onwards to the Emea village fight gives me enough time to collect the 10 needed Moraks for the Okastock feast and even more Makatis.
Identifié, capturé. Contactez le QG pour une analyse complète.
Slade, c'est moi.
Slade Aléaz. Réponds, ma grande.
Oui, Ulukai.
Jette un œil à ta carte. Tu veux qu'on se retrouve à ces nouvelles coordonnées?
Pourquoi?
Comment ça, pourquoi?
Pourrais-tu aller vérifier, Ulukai?
Je vais y faire un tour. Slade, terminé. Aïe, c'est quoi ce délire?
Regarde,
Tu veux...
c'est...
Hasard.
Non, je me calmerai pas.
Allez, la...
Bonne...
Shooting mines at the Kaminai on the Galenta triggers every single one of them
menaille
to attack.
dérange le Galetta. Il faut que je me débarrasse. C'est pas une bonne idée.
As said earlier, you can start quests without having to know about them beforehand. You need to wait for the Ventilope cinematic to trigger, otherwise you will get the free Unier sequence cancelling the Ventilope luring quest. I absolutely forgot that I cannot heal myself underwater, but also that Sanectar can bite without even being close. Absolutely avoidable death, especially since I already had 15 black algae. Reloading takes a lot of seconds.
Je peux... Et j'avais donc... Et lui...
Giving the wanted feathers to Unier, which I had collected in the first 15 minutes of my run inside the tree.
Tu devrais en...
À plus.
Defeating those ships from the Galanta's head is the safest, but also takes a while, as the shots are sometimes super off. Better would be to shoot the turrets first from the Galanta, and then quickly jump down and hit the red helidiums from close. The drones shouldn't be a big issue. Also, after shooting the red helidiums, you will get quick teleported up to the Galanta's head again. Coming from this angle somewhat didn't trigger the drones, giving me enough time to activate the terminal and shoot them in masses.
Oh, allez.
Bear in mind this is a training clip. During my run, the drones flew around all of a sudden, as the angle probably wasn't accurate enough or too low.
Ça va faire mal.
Also, I didn't use the lower terminal, but had a good idea for the upper one.
Si tout le monde veut jouer.
At the beginning, I have mentioned to avoid as many fights as possible. In this training run, I successfully dragged the robots from the lower level to the upper in order to activate the bottom terminal. Then rush back up. Obviously, shouldn't have messed up the easy frag. And activate the next terminal. In my full run, the robots were behaving a bit differently, needing me to get rid of every single one of them and activate the terminals afterwards. It was time to battle Jack, but I need some potions before. I'm taking a small detour to the shop, as otherwise I would fly into the cinematic trigger, as can be seen here. In the last third, my machine was that warm that my sound got all janky and I sometimes had some small lags, so I will show you quickly what I was actually listening to while I was doing this run. The artist is called Solar Fields. Amazing music for diving in. I'm using the original soundtrack from Hero. Only now I figure I forgot to talk to Draud about the Lampe, so I don't have the Lampe blessing option here, but when having both quests ready, Darosham Revival and the Lampe, make sure to do the Darosham first. In one run I asked for the blessing and wasn't able to talk about the Darosham anymore. After talking about the Vine's essence with Herax, you have to wait until all Darosham's quests are logged and closed. This takes a while. Until then, the Vine essence is blocked. Once, I got the collect animation, but I didn't get the essence into my backpack. So, I'm quickly doing the talk about Lampe delivery to Kisar with Maso and quick teleport back. And then, quickly revisiting Draud, as Marceau takes a while to deliver the drink. This would have easily saved me at least 3 to 4 minutes if I would have been more concentrated at that time, but it was already midnight or 1 AM or something. Curing the nom-noms took way too long. Be sure to search for them in a free roaming before. I'm now only showing the bases and keeping in those rushes, as I haven't included them in a small training video on my channel. And those are, in my opinion, the more complex ones to figure out. Anyhow, enjoy. Using the rifle and the mines with a level 3 upgrade gives enough splash damage so you don't have to leave the boat. After having celebrated Oka stock and going for the personal teleporter means waiting for Vernon's call. In the meantime, you can go for potions or alleyway plants and still go straight to the spot close to the Gork eruption next to the Kitsa path to Oka. It's time to rescue the chiefs. Be sure to always talk to the talent first who knows where the leader is being kept. Once I forgot and the leaders weren't counted up. Look at the map. I missed that one little drone in the lower left, so Lihas didn't follow me, hence I lost the energy and died another unnecessary death. Eventually my run was done and everything prepared beforehand paid off. You might notice the timer displays a little different time than having shown at the beginning. Please read about this in the description of my full run. It was a blast traversing Adelpha again and again, and I cannot wait doing so another time in Outcast 3. Thank you for watching.